All right. Let's work on our breath. Inhale and just focus on dragging the breath into your belly, letting your belly expand, letting your belly just relax. So again, during the practice today, what our goal is to let our breath guide all of the movements. So the breath will be the focus. The movements will be the result, maybe? I'm not sure how we would call that. All right, let's roll forward onto hands and knees. And we will be in our tabletop pose with your knees underneath your hips and your hands underneath your shoulders. And we'll practice that breathing work with cows and cats here. And so with the cow, we'll start our inhale through our nose into our belly. And then we'll drop our belly, stick your butt out a little bit, and lift up your head. And when your inhale is done, let it out, start relaxing, and arch your back, tuck your hips under, and drop your head. And then when you've finished your exhale, start your inhale into your belly, and then drop your belly, stick out your butt, and just go at your own pace for a few rounds. But focus on your breathing. Get the breath into your belly, and then relax it. All right, now let's sit back into a child's pose. So your knees are going to come wide on the mat. Big toes are going to be together. Sit your butt back towards your heel, first of all, heels. And then once you're down about as far as you can go, start to extend your hands if you can. Otherwise, get your elbows on the mat. And this is a rest pose. And so you can simply hang out here. In yin yoga, this is a pose where we might hold it for 5 to 8 minutes. But what we'll do here is work on our breath and moving with our breathing. So on our inhale, we'll lift up our hips a little bit, and I'll turn sideways. So I'm back as far as my hips will go. The inhale, I'm going to lift up my hips. And on the exhale, I'm going to try to straighten my back as if I was still in a tabletop pose. So I will feel it in my hamstrings into my glutes. And at the same time, I'm going to try to drop my collarbones a little closer to the mat. So it'll be inhale coming up, exhale, reaching and stretching out my back. Just trying to continue moving with your breathing. Good. Now, with your toes, come up a little bit on your hips, but then curl your toes under and we'll come into a downward dog. All right. In downward dog, we will work on our breath again. So inhale into your belly, come up on your tiptoes, and on the exhale, drop your right heel down. And then inhale up, Drop your left heel down. Inhale up. You can try to drop both heels down and sink your collarbones a little bit farther. So the goal of downward dog is to have a straight line from your hips to your heels, but also from your hips to your hands. And the hands one, it's harder for me to do that. I think for most people, if you get really long on the mat, you can usually do it, but it's much more of a challenge for shoulders to open up. So just move as you need to with your breathing. Good. Let's look up at the top of the mat, take an inhale. And on the exhale, we'll start walking our feet to the front of the mat, and we'll come in to a forward fold. And we'll hold this for a few breaths. Inhale, lift up your hips or your torso. Exhale, let your torso fall. So the difference between kind of a stretch yoga class and more of a flow yoga class is simply how much movement we do. In the stretch that we typically hold the poses for a lot longer and try to deepen into the pose and open up. In a flow, we're just going to be moving more, creating more movement. We're not going to try to make it harder. We're not going to hold the poses as long as we normally do. We're just going to try to move more, and we'll go through our sequence a couple of times. All right, we'll inhale into a half lift. So your knees a little bit more bent. Sometimes you can put your hands on your knees. Exhale back down, and then we're going to inhale all the way up. Arms overhead, and then bring your hands down to center. Good. All right. Now, you can get a drink here if you wish. But our goal here now is to be in a mountain pose. And in a mountain pose, we're going to try to first get our breath into our belly. You're on screen now. Hello. All right. Breath into our belly. Push against your hand, push against the waistband of your pants. Good. All right, so the flow that we're going to do, and again, we're going to pretend to be graceful. So it's trying to move. It's going to be a warrior one into a warrior two, back into a warrior one. And then we're going to try to do some triangle kind of poses. So that's how we're going to work these things. And just step back as far as you feel comfortable. And we're not trying to create that strength that we often do in class. We're simply trying to create some movement. So let's inhale, bring your right foot back into a warrior one. And we'll try to have both heels lined up. Bring your arms up. Whoa, that was too fast. Good, we'll inhale, rotate forward. Inhale, rotate sideways, and now forward. Good. That's it. All right, now we're going to inhale. We're going to rotate to the side into a warrior two. Good. Now check your front knee that it's not rolled in, that it's rolled over onto the top of your ankle. Good. Now we're going to roll back into warrior one. So we're going to rotate your hips and your shoulders, come back. So we're just moving. All right, now we're going to drop back to a reverse warrior. So left hand comes up into the air. Right hand is down by your thigh. Inhale and reach back on the exhale. Inhale into your belly. Exhale, rotate down. Good. Now, here comes the fun part. We're going to roll back into a warrior two. Open up your front leg on the inhale. Reach forward and come into a triangle. We're not going to be here for very long, not as long as we normally do, because we're going to do a few things with the triangle. So the triangle, your left hand is on your left thigh. You can hold on to it here. And then we're just trying to bring up our right hand as much as you can. Do a couple more breaths. Excellent. Now, we're going to come into a pyramid pose, which is taking both hands. And if you can, and I can't, bring your hands to the mat on either side of your foot. I'm just going to be bringing my hands to my knees and bringing my middle of my chest to my knee. This is a pyramid pose. Good. One more time. Now what we're going to do is take my right hand, leave it on my knee or on my shin, and I'm going to take my left hand and bring it up in a reverse triangle. Yeah, I know this is the hard one. And we're just going to rotate. We're not going to spend much time here. Then we're going to come back. Inhale back into a warrior one. Inhale. Those are hard, those reverse triangles. And now we're going to roll back to a warrior two. Now we're going to roll forward to a side angle, extended side angle. So your left hand is on your left forearm is on your left thigh. Your right hand is pointing forward. You're trying to imagine a straight line between your right hand and your right foot. Now we're going to roll back up to a warrior two. Roll back to reverse warrior. This is how we're trying to create that pretend gracefulness. Roll back to the reverse or to the side angle.
I can't do this.
Inhale, exhale. One more inhale, back to reverse warrior. Bring your hands to your waist and step forward. So that's the routine for the day. And we're going to do that on the left side, and then we're going to repeat it on both sides. So the movement is like 2.5 breaths. And then we move, rather. So find your breath back into your belly. Take a step back with your left foot this time into a warrior one. Breathe into your belly. The inhale is to open. The exhale is to roll forward. Good. Now, inhale, exhale into a warrior two. Inhale, and then exhale into a warrior one. And then a warrior two. Straighten your front knee. I think I just forgot one. I come down into a triangle. I think I forgot the reverse warrior, but we'll get to it. Now your right hand is on the inside of your right knee. Good. Now we're going to bring the pyramid pose. So drop both hands to your thigh or to your knee. Your inhale is up a little bit. Your exhale is down. You can feel this in the back of your right thigh and your hamstrings. Inhale, leave your right hand on your right knee. I'm sorry, left hand on your right knee. Bring your right hand in the reverse triangle. This is the hard one of today.
Oh, okay.
Good. Now roll back up to a warrior two. I'm sorry, warrior one. I needed more coffee, I think. Good. We're going to inhale into a warrior two. Inhale, exhale. Good. Now, reverse warrior. Bring your left hand down, right hand up. Open up your right side body. Good. Inhale. Now we're going to roll down to the side angle. This is where we're pretending to be graceful. Right forearm onto our right hand, our right thigh, left hand up. Breathe into your belly. Exhale is trying to rotate your shoulder so that you're more flat. Good. Now roll back into reverse warrior. That's it. And then roll forward into extended side angle. Good. You got it.
No, I'm running the wrong way.
We're just reaching with our left hand, trying to create a straight line, trying to keep our torso flat. Roll back, keep your hips up, and then we're going to step forward with our left foot and come back in. So I think I may have changed those two routines. We're okay. And we'll try and do the same thing this time. All right, so again, we're moving every 2.5 breaths or so. So we're not spending a lot of time, but we're just trying to move our torsos. With every inhale, we're relaxing the pose and exhaling in more of a deep pose, if you're able to. All right, do the same thing. Perfect timing. We'll do the same thing on both sides again. So step back with your right foot, drop your back heel, and come into a warrior one. Doesn't matter what angle your back foot is at. It's basically whatever you can do to keep it flat so you have a lot of balance, and then have your back leg mostly straight. Good. Okay, we'll inhale into a, exhale into a warrior two. Now this is the difference. The inhale is to come rotate, the exhale to try to separate your hands. Good. Now we're going to inhale back into a warrior one. And inhale back into a warrior two. And this is where we're going to then get into our triangle. Okay, so we're going to inhale, straighten your front leg, reach forward with your left, come into the triangle here. The inhale is to drop your right hand a little bit. The exhale is to reach it up a little higher if you can. All right, now drop your hands to your shin into a pyramid pose. Again, the goal is to try to bring your torso, the middle of your chest towards your left knee. So I'm lifting up my torso on the inhale and on the exhale, trying to let it fall. Good. Good stretch in your back. Now I'm leaving my right hand on my left knee, lifting up my left hand in this torturous reverse triangle. Just focus on your breathing. And roll back up to a warrior one. Into a warrior two. Into reverse warrior. So lift up your left hand, bring your right hand back. Yep. So right hand on your right thigh, left hand up. Yep. You got it. And now roll forward into a side angle. Left hand on your left thigh, right hand going forward. You got it. All right, now roll back to the reverse warrior. So we're just basically switching our torso positions. Rolling back and reverse. There you go. Lifting up our left side body. And now we're going to roll forward again and open up our right side body. There you go. Good. Now bring your hands down, bring your torso up, step forward with your right foot. Come back into our mountain. Good. You're doing really well. All right, now we're continuing with the breath into your belly. Take a step back with your left foot this time into a warrior one. And again, we're just being gentle here. We're not trying to get really deep into these poses and really work hard. We're just trying to move on a rainy day. Inhale and then rotate forward into the warrior one. Good. Now we're going to inhale and exhale into a warrior two. So now our hands are going forward and backwards. There you go. Now we're going to inhale. We're going to then rotate our torso again. Bring your arms up and back into a warrior one. So again, we're just moving. There we go. Okay, inhale back into a warrior two. Stretch your arms out. Good. Now inhale your front leg straight. Reach forward with your right hand and bring your left hand up towards the ceiling in a triangle. There you go. So in the triangle, we're all about trying to create just some torso movement and some core strength. And then inhale is to bring your left arm down, and your exhale is to bring your left arm up. Good. Now we're going to drop your left arm, bring both hands to your knees, and lean forward in a pyramid pose. And then we'll do our last reverse triangle. So now leave your left hand on your left thigh or on your knee. Bring your right hand. This side is much harder for me. And then bring your right hand up. Good. All right. Now come back up to a warrior one. Almost done here. Then we're going to come down to the mat, do a little bit of stretching with our lower back. Inhale into a warrior two. So you're inhaling and transitioning, exhale, coming into the pose. So then inhale and exhale, bring your right hand up, left hand down into reverse warrior. So left hand is on my back thigh, right hand is up into the air, and I'm trying to open up my right side body. Breathe into my belly, exhale. Breathe in, rotate down now so that my right forearm is going onto my right thigh. My left hand is coming forward, kind of pointing at the seam between the wall and the ceiling. And again, now I'm trying to open up my left side body. And inhale, exhale, rotate back to reverse warrior. Inhale and exhale back to side angle or extended side angle. There you go. Inhale and exhale. Then inhale, come back. Bring your left foot forward. We're done with all of that movement. Nice work. All right, let's bring our arms up overhead. We'll inhale, come down, hands to your shins in a forward fold, come to a half lift on the inhale. And on the exhale, bring your hands down, and we're gonna make our way down onto the mat, and then onto your seat, and then onto your back. All right, how are we doing on time? Perfect. All right, so I'm on my back. My knees are in the air. The soles of my feet are on the ground. My arms are at a 45-degree angle from my shoulders, and my palms are on the mat. So the first thing I'm going to do is pick up my right knee and cross it over my left, as if I was sitting and crossing my legs. And I'm going to inhale, and I'm going to exhale and roll my knees over to the right. So my left butt cheek is coming off the mat. My shoulders stay on the mat. And I am just inhaling my knees up a little bit and exhaling and letting them fall. You can try to look over to your left as well. You should be feeling this in a lot of places, in your lower back, maybe in the outside of your left thigh and your left hip. So what your right knee is doing is just creating some weight to add to gravity as you extend your knee to the ground, your left knee. So my right butt cheek is staying firmly on the mat. My left is in the air. My shoulder blades are staying on the mat. My hands are kind of creating a little bit of a balance point, like the outriggers of a crane. So we're just letting our lower back open up with gravity. We're not trying to do anything. In fact, we're probably trying to prevent our knees from falling forward, but we're just relaxing the knees as much as we can. Do one more breath here. Now we're going to roll back up. Bring my right knee down, my right foot back down to the mat. Just let my knees roll back and forth a little bit, just to kind of open up things a little bit. And I'm going to lift my left knee up, cross it over my right knee, make sure my shoulders are all ready, and my right foot is coming up towards my hips. And now I'm going to drop my knees over to the left. So my right butt cheek is coming up off the mat and my shoulders are staying on the mat still. Inhales up a little bit. And the exhale is just letting my breath release out of my nose. Breathe into my belly, lift up my knees. And on the exhale, just let them fall open. So really focus on your breathing again. Focus on breathing into your belly and lifting up your knees. And then exhaling and just letting the air come out of your nose as your knees fall to the side. One more breath here. Good. Now bring your knees back up. All right. Get yourself situated again. Take your hands and wrap them around your knees, or grab your knees or wrap your elbows around. We're going to try to do is bring our knees in to our armpits. You can roll sideways just a little bit. We're just creating a little bit of opening in our glutes. Good. If you can stay here, or you can grab a hold of your feet. Mine are incredibly cold right now in the garage studio. And you can grab the outside of your feet, or you can grab the balls of your feet or your big toe, and we'll come into happy baby. And try to keep your head on the mat. It's a little bit, easier. If you want to lift it up, you can and get a little bit of core work in. But our goal here really is just to roll around, open up the backs of our thighs, create a little bit of almost a massage on the muscles going up and down your spine. Just breathe into your belly. And we're going to come into our rest pose, and we'll do that for a few moments. And in the rest pose, you are free to be in a shavasana, in the corpse pose. You can have your knees in the air. You can have blocks under your knees. I'm going to be seated in easy pose because that's my rest pose. But we'll just be quiet for a couple of moments. You can chill out, do what you need to. You can practice your breathing, which is what I do when I'm seated. All right, let's roll up or out, whatever you're doing. And now time for you to relax a little bit. I'll give us about 2 or 3 minutes. And I just use the time to inhale, push open my belly, and then relax. And try to focus just on my breathing. And when the thoughts come in my head, I will just come back to try to focus on the breathing. All right, and let's find your breathing back into your belly. Roll on up to your right side and then roll on up to a seated position. Good. Bring your hands to your side. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Bring your hands together. Bring them down to heart center. Thank you so much for joining us today. Namaste. All right, nice.